Obrigado. ขอบคุณครับ
Thank you.
Arigato.
Kiitos.
Merci.
From the bottom of our hearts, thank you.
Virtus.pro and Wolves esports are out to play today, baby. It is once again the 1-0 matchups in our Swiss stage. Now, talk to me about Wolves esports. I know we had mentioned previously the fact that they're incredibly good at countering their opponents, but to what degree can they do that up against a team like VP?
Well, fortunately for them, it is a team that they know quite well, Fresh. It's a team that me and you have covered quite extensively inside of Europe. It's another inter-regional matchup here, and I think that both teams are going to be going into this one with their eyes wide open.
Yeah, I think they are as well. I think, Wolves, we know that they like to do their homework. We know that they're all over the map bans, the operator bans, the tendencies of teams, and this is a team they face a lot. Just a couple of weeks ago, they faced them in a qualifier tournament, in the final of that, in a best of 3 and beat them 2-0. So for Wolves, we know that they had a big result yesterday. They're riding the high, and they've beaten Virtus.pro recently. So for them, they're going to be a very confident team.
Now, for the side of VP, obviously they have a wealth of experience amongst their players, 3 of which have previously won a major as well. But when we look to the side of Wolves, having recently, with the departure of Rise, how much do you think this is going to impact them?
I think that Wolves have been on the up and up really since that Rise departure. There was obviously the initial lull.
It was a bit rough.
There was the initial lull of like, oh my goodness, we've lost our direction, we've lost our in-game leader. And it's taken them a little bit of time to build that back up. And through interviews with Bibu, through seeing the team play, you can feel and get a real sense that that direction is slowly but surely coming back. And it's almost coming back stronger than ever.
And there's a big correlation with Deadshot, who's been on the rise himself. So, I think they've been, very, very good.
All right, so as we take a look at our map vetoes, gents, how do we think this game is going to pan out before our very eyes?
Well, both teams have, similar maps in terms of the maps they like. They both love a club, they both love a villa. I'm not surprised to see, after how good VP were yesterday on club, that we're not going there. I'm not as surprised at all either that we're going to villa.
Yeah, going over to Villa. I think that Villa's going to be a great map. It's a great map for Wolves. We know it to be a good map for Wolves. Obviously, a bit of a counter pick maybe coming in there from VP, having seen that game yesterday and thinking, yeah, we'll have a look at that. We'll have a look at a little bit of Villa. We don't fancy, going up on something else. We'll go up against something that you very recently played and try and come out with a little bit of counter for it.
It's a very big test, actually, in terms of we spoke about M80 and how they had, had to change stuff up. I think for Wolves, they played against M80 yesterday, who were very fast. They're now going to have to play against VP on the same map that they played yesterday, who are very slow. So it's a big test.
Well, Inter and Pengu are ready and waiting for this next matchup. Let's get things started.
Hello there. So great to see you all. Nice to see you as well.
Likewise, Mr. Waffle. That's the shirt color. It's like a waffle color.
Jesse said that I looked like a banana.
It's not yellow.
Because I said he looked like an extra on Glee.
That's awesome.
And he said, you look like a banana. And I said, well, good news. That's actually what I was going for. Wolves, who also happen to be the same color as I am wearing, but that was not intentional. But you know what the beautiful thing is here? You know what I'm really excited for?
What?
I love the guys on Virtus.pro. I love Empire. I loved when they were on Outsiders.
Yeah.
And they're back at a major, and I get to cast them, and I am so excited. And we're gonna go to Villa. This used to be a map that they never played.
Yes.
Way back in the day when Karzheko was on the roster. As Milos would say, they never played, and wow. There's nobody in their chairs.
They're all gone. No, you're all right. Virtus.pro, the former Empire roster, not known to play Villa whatsoever, but things have changed. And of course, Wolves, they played this map yesterday against M80, and they did manage to get a W, but it was a close one. 8-7 victory for Wolves.
You know what? I actually think this is the first time ever that I'm casting Virtus.pro. Same with you. Because when they were in Europe originally, they never made a major, right? As far as I'm aware. I think they made a major.
When they were forced before VP with that roster, they did, but not,
And then they were obviously playing under Outsiders.
Yep.
I think, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong. I cast a lot of games. I cast a lot of games, and I never even thought about this.
You might be right.
I never, of all the the prep work we've done, I never thought, what about me?
Yeah.
Because it's not about me.
What about me?
What about me?
No, I think you're right.
This might be the first time that I am ever officially casting Virtus.pro.
That's exciting.
That is always exciting.
Very nice.
Very fun times. Are they going to prevail against Wolves? Operator bans are locked in. Nomad, Thatcher, Azami, and Solus.
Yeah. Nothing too target specific here. I say that the solo is like the only thing really standing out. Some teams they want to move from play. Some teams they like having it open, of course. Wolves, they remove that from Virtus.pro's side and operate a pool as Wolves will start on the defense. Now, Virtus.pro, they are known in the EUL for a very specific play style. They will do the same exact thing on attack and defense mostly every single round, and on paper, that shouldn't work. But the theory is, I think Bruce Lee said this, right? I don't fear a man who has practiced 1,000 kicks once, or 10,000 kicks once. He fears a man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. So Virtus.pro, they follow that same pattern where they are prepared for literally every single variational outcome of a round by just playing the same style every single time. But the thing is, when they go up against domestic competition in Wolves will know this, they'll be used to it, they'll prepare for it, etc. I think Virtus.pro's strength internationally will lie in fighting teams who don't know their playstyle, who's never played up against it. Wolves have a slight upper hand in this one. We'll see who comes out on top. Right now, VP with a, I want to say a slow attack. It's just started, 30 seconds has been spent so far, but they're starting from the master bedroom portion of the map, going to a roam clear on over. Of course, then on the Twitch, because there is a mirror on the board from the side of P4, who's been using those mirror windows across the map. We actually see Wolves play a very extensive roam. I mean, there's an ABG bombs up, they're playing Astro, they're playing Dining, they're playing Master Bedroom. They are all over right now.
Nade gets tossed in, and isn't it funny how a single barricade put on a pantry door flummoxed Joystick from being able to take up more space than usual. Mowgli's the only one who's taken any damage. I'm assuming the culprit of that was the nade?
Attackers have located a bomb.
That's a jammer.
Dan drives his drone right into the middle of a jammer, and you know what? For somebody who's inexperienced and new to the scene as Dan, that's an easy mistake.
Okay. For the people who don't know, Dan is a very experienced player. But yeah.
I casted his first match.
Wait.
Pro Play casted his first championship at Milan when they, one of the most surprising upsets over EG.
Oh no, the white stairs meme. Oh boy.
Oh, Bee-Boo.
Oh, he doesn't know.
No. Joystick can't pull, though, because there's one in piano. He knows that he doesn't have the cross. This is not great. Dead shot in that position. Could shoot through the wall, but doesn't want to give his position away. He'll get droned out. Oh, no, this is so tense.
He has no idea.
Joystick knows there's somebody. No!
He saved himself, actually. He actually saved himself because he runs away. He's trying to get swung by people.
And now he's got two different Wolves players clawing for his attention in that position, and neither of them are going to be within distance of him.
The thing is, B-Boy is downstairs with the C4, so if Virtus.pro walk inside here successfully, they can get the nade on the plant. We see P4 inside a vault, very close contact here to Joystick.
I can't believe Joystick's just in the site, by the way.
Just like that.
How does he do that? How does he almost nade himself, and then he gets in, and now he hasn't seen anything? He knows the mirror is there. It's ugly, it works! Mowgli and P4 go down. Shinka's the only one on the board as the diffuser goes down. Shepard survives a nitro cell. Deadshot has to retake from above. It's tough going. Shepard taking a lot of damage now in the post play as Deadshot moves up to 90, outdueled by Dan. Pasha in on the fun too. Goodbye, Shinka. All that's left is Bee-Boo. Shepard a kill, and it's a team ace. No, Pasha denies the team ace, but Virtus.pro still wins round number 1.
I'm curious what happened with the C4 from Bee-Boo downstairs. If it was whiffed or if they plant, no, because they did plant default, I believe. Look at the outlines there, so not sure if that was miscommunication from the defending side or if Bee-Boo just simply couldn't get in the right position in due time. Because it looked like Wolves had a good understanding that, okay, the plant might be going down soon. P4 pushes up, Bee-Boo is downstairs, but then VP, they find 2 kills, one off, one on and one off the bomb site itself. So Wolves under pressure from multiple angles, and they get overwhelmed. It looked like for a brief moment we might have a tech issue, but no, we are indeed back. Replays first, however. Watch the kills that happen. That's the offside kills out of office, while P4 died inside of vault. And then we don't get to see the C4, unfortunately, but I am curious exactly what happened because people was indeed downstairs. He's the last member alive, died on that main staircase, had already spent the C4 in his pocket. Oh, and look at this. Wolves will do the same thing they did in the very final round against M80 when it was 7-7 to win it out. They will bring out the clash on Villa. Now, they did it on AVG bomb side against M80, where this is going to be the trophy bomb side, but Clash is an operator that very few teams and players like to bring, but I would argue slightly underrated is Clash. Most people just find her very frustrating to play against. She slows you, you sap, take some damage, etc. And there's no easy, straightforward way to deal with her. You almost have to bring like a Sophia or a Kali or a Nomad, Nomad's banned by the way, to make any easy counterplay happen. And I mean, you play a Clash, so you can play safe around her, but then Deadshot goes to her right out and launches door and gets basically, he spawn peeks himself essentially. Bit of a rough start.
Not ideal.
Not ideal, and the puzzling part is just that when you play seemingly one style of Siege on the operator cards, but okay, let's play around the Clash, play around like the man advantage, because when you play the Clash, you have one less gun, just like you do at Muncie, because you got the shield up. You don't typically want to aggress so early in the round with the risk of losing a member, because now you're technically playing 3 guns versus 5, plus a walking shield or a glorified drone that can sap you a little bit. So again, Deadshot goes to the risky play, it doesn't pay off. He starts kind of slow, where he was actually on the front gunners for Wolves against M80 yesterday, but been shut down by VP so far.
Activating replicator.
Gives yourself a lot of breathing room, though, especially getting that Legion off the board.
Going live.
It's a very valuable first pick. Few operators on defense that have gadgets that continue to increase in numbers as time goes on. Is only one of them banned out. Pasha tossing up 2 nades. They do not connect at all. Those are missed opportunities. How valuable those nades can be, it's particularly bad. Mowgli is the attention of Pasha, but it's Bibu to capitalize off of the pick and then immediately head back downstairs. It allows Mowgli to rotate off of his position as well. You don't want too many of these offsite defenders picked apart because that weakens P4's hold as Clash in the middle of the site.
No, it does. You can't leave Clash entirely alone. And the thing is, now the attackers, they have control of Astro. P4 and Clash, they can try and push back into it for a retake, but it's gonna expose P4 to so many crossfires established by VP. Not gonna take the risk, gonna play far back. They're playing for a Panther here for Wolves. VP, they're trying to look for kills.
Joystick's on this lurk roll as he's coming in late. He'll find a goo mine that'll give some information to Bibu, but he looks invisible. He looks down the stairs and Joystick is gone. Bibu should win this engagement realistically, especially since he's holding on to that Roni. But what about the rest of this map? Mowgli gets a little bit too aggressive. Shepard now being naded. Or rather, P4 being naded with Shepard not too far off. There goes always to Shinka. Diffuser going down. Dan and Joystick will need to cover, and Dan's looking in one direction. That's not the right one, but that one is. Down goes the smoke, long range, finished off. As Shepard gets off of the plant, he's just doing everything himself. But the star so far of this show has been Bibu. He's been making some serious noise, but Joystick says enough. Silencio. P4 are now in a 1v2. Clash is the shield on her back. Only small kill holes made from those ex-Kairos. Time continuing to run down, down, down as P4 sits on the diffuser and with shield on his back goes for it. Difficulties hitting their marks. Dan can't get it done, but Shepard can. 2 rounds in a row where VP's gotten the first pick and planted the diffuser. It's about as successful as you're gonna get. Wolves obviously not having the start they wanted.
No, they don't, and I have to go back and say Deadshot going that early aggressive spawn peak really is confusing because we see this. Clash simply needed help. More guns, more manpower. Because they lost the early member, Wolves try to go on the offense downstairs and try and disrupt the nades from below. And Mowgli, you know, and Bibu, they found 1 kill combined between the 2 of them, did a bit of damage, ran back upstairs, but they lost Astro control, and then slowly only after that, they lose the bomb site control. And as long as you're playing concrete, which is exactly where Virtus.pro got the diffuser down like we saw, you cannot get C4 from downstairs. So having the downstairs presence as a defending team really didn't matter in the end. So they gotta go back up a staircase with the clash, with the manpower behind them, but they're down in numbers. They can't retake successfully, and therefore the plant goes down. And VP, they play a nice and tight post plant in that 2 versus 2 that started off as a 3 versus 2. Now, bombs at rotation for Wolves, they are just trying to make something stick and make something work. They are going AVG into Trophy and now to Kitchen Dining. And that's actually forced VP's first big attacker repeat phase to occur. They got the Glass, they got the Ying, they got the Dokkaebi. They want blood in this round and they want to pick this apart in a way that's unpredictable for Wolves.
I like the Goyo canisters, though, at least as one of the first lines of defense. I'm sure the Legion Mines or Deadshot are there as well. So you've got 2 options to slow down a rush, 2 options to slow down any type of bulldozer strategy that could come out for this. Additionally, I suspect we're going to see Bibu downstairs in the basement playing with that pulse sensor. No, actually by laundry door, very standard place for pulse to be. Okay.
Yeah.
Teams can either use pantry or that separate doorway next to kitchen to get downstairs if they want. Asha losing his head to Mowgli. But there's the first smoke, and Dan attempting to refrag, attempting to capitalize. Nades go in, as do the Candelas. But unfortunately, the hard destruction is not gonna make it easy to get into the kitchen site. Joystick, the first kill for Virtus.pro. 2-0. Looking for a 3rd round right now. Virtus.pro find another. On to Bibu. Shinka on the flank. That's where Always was looking. Diffuser surrendered as well in that same position. But P4 was looking in the wrong direction, and Joystick is there to get the job done. Now it's his turn over towards Pantry. Last 2 players of Wolves are not in the site, but most importantly, the Diffuser might still be under their control on those Pantry stairs. It's all up to Shinka to hold on to it, but he fears aggression, and he's fallen off accordingly.
Yeah, Wolves want to get back together, play that 2v3. They know they can't go for plans straight away. There's no smoke left, but as I say that, Dan has found the right angle and position on the side and gets down the Diffuser in a moment.
Shinka sees from above. He can't connect onto Joystick. No, 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 that's not how it's supposed to be done. 3 rounds in a row now where Virtus.pro is able to get that Diffuser planted. Surrendering way too much control of the site. This does not bode well for Wolves, but they still have an opportunity to get the Diffuser. Time is running out, however. They need to retake the site. This is where things will get tricky. Shinka comes from above. You'll have Deadshot playing from the same floor. 2 sets of eyes staring at Shinka inside of Laundry. Deadshot's on the Diffuser, but there's the buck from above. Joystick stops it. Shinka and the bucket Joystick have swapped spots. And even if he lives, there's just not enough time. Dan seals the deal. 3 rounds in a row for VP. They're looking mighty fine.
But things started off so well for Wolves. VP, they're trying to brute force with the pantry wall open up. They toss out their only smokes, their only candelas. They want to plant in the breach in the midst of that chaos, so the post plant from the window outside. But there was a Goyo canister pre-positioned on the breach. When the wall got opened up, the fire spread, and they recognized they cannot commit to the mission at hand. And VP, one of their biggest weaknesses as a team throughout the entirety of EVO so far since this roster was formed, was the ability to make adaptive plays when things didn't go the right way. But they made a beautiful and very quick adaptation. The extent they execute, it was like a full minute where there was always something happening, rotating upstairs, downstairs, getting away into the bomb side, and then they play a phenomenal post plant. That 3 versus 2 again, the moment the Diffuser goes down, the buck goes upstairs. The other 2 members outside laundry door, play far back, don't gotta risk anything. When the buck starts breaking the floor above to deny the initial Diffuser, that's when the members from laundry, they walk back into the building, and then there are 3 guys looking at the last defender standing, and it's just all too easy for them. Wolves, they took their tactical timeout, they've spoken things through, and this is likely also for the mental side of the game, because the way that Wolves have been losing these rounds, it has to be extremely frustrating.
Yeah, there's not a lot that I really want to pinpoint that Wolves are doing obviously wrong.
No.
There's no big blunders. I mean, obviously the spawn peak that failed in round number 2 is something entirely different. But
yeah,
I mean, strategically, you get that first pick on Pantry. You manage to flank him and kill Always as well.
Exactly.
You get the upper hand. You're holding on to that Diffuser, but then there's just it looks like there's confusion as to who's making these calls, and it's dooming them strategically. And every time they go to take a step, Virtus.pro seems to understand this and responds accordingly.
No, I fully agree with you. Every single time Wolves to try and make a reactive play to what's happening, Virtus.pro are already at the next step and immediately punishing. So even though Wolves gets the opening kill, Virtus.pro, they're playing the long game. They think way further ahead. And with that adaptation, as I mentioned, they actually get 3 kills at the price of 1, and that's how they found themselves in the midst of that bomb site. Virtus.pro also changed their pace. They had 2 very slow rounds to start things off, then a very quick round number 3. When attacking teams, they continually change their pace throughout. It's also, again, hard for the defending team to adapt to, because, okay, now, are they gonna rush us? Are they gonna play super slow? I like that Wolves and P4 now are going for the Valkyrie operator instead, to have that certainty, say, okay, we have cameras in these positions. We know for a fact this is where they're going to be attacking from. We know for a fact they're not going for a quick one. We can now go back into our, our default way of playing this bomb site, because now we have intel to work with. Where previously, they're kind of going blind. They had to actually dry peek corners, look for information, and that's where VP, they get into those gunfights, or they get into the bomb site like we saw in round number 1 from Joystick, and then things, they fall apart for Wolves. It almost feels like too many people are trying to communicate in Wolves, where it seems like VP, they have 1 or 2 guys making all the calls, and everyone just kind of follows along.
It's half the round already burned as Joystick gets ever closer. Creeping up. Oh. They have intel on this play by 90. They're gonna swing up. They knew he was there the whole time, and P4 just shows up shooting. Joystick can't accomplish anything at all.
Yeah, I guess there is one positive to that death for VP. Now they know Valkyrie's on the table, because there's no way they knew that previously, the way that Joystick was holding that ankle. So dying to the Valkyrie will now confirm that there are cameras around. Look in the corners, look at the ceiling, they have intel.
Sitting so pretty right now. We talked about how strategically there wasn't a ton of errors being committed by Wolves, and Mowgli's really putting the grease to both Dan and Pasha. Give him the gears, you can get it. Bibu slaughtered by Always down below. A disappointing start to this matchup for Bibu. The rest of the team will need to pick it up, but I mean, there's a lot of disappointment there. Deadshot is 0-3, Mowgli 1-3. P4 taking some damage now. Mowgli will be watching towards Model. 2 of these players will come in. He pre-fires. He gives his position away. He's got 3 opportunities here, Nick. 3 opportunities in 15 seconds to win this round. All 3 of them are named after Virtus.pro players. There goes the smoke, and Mowgli try to come out swinging. Shepard goes down. Shinka Mowgli gets it done, and then there's one an upside down rappel. Deadshot gets on the board, and Mowgli seals the deal. Timeout. Working wonders as Wolves finally wins a round.
Yeah, they do. And Mowgli actually showing a bit of confidence in that round, despite not having the best scoreline before that happened. And Deadshot was somebody that I was praising a lot yesterday, watching their game against the M80, especially on his attacking side. And in my notes, same story. Watch out for Deadshot. He was hot yesterday. A lot of confidence, a lot of aggression, a lot of success. He hasn't shown up so far in this match. He's 0-3. He is playing on a role that we're expecting him to get kills, get into gunfights, and have success at that. But again, VP, the way they play Siege is very difficult. Deadshot is not the most experienced player. He is actually new to the tier 1 level of competitive play, so he's still gonna have some things to learn and figure out, even though they probably scrimmed and of course played Virtus.pro before in the EUL. So tough time for him. P4 sticks to Valkyrie. I think intel definitely is what they want. They even got a bulletproof camera on Bibu on the Jaeger. Then, because of that previous round as well, they recognized that Valkyrie camera that killed Joystick. That was problematic. Attacker repick from the Ash onto IQ. Now we're playing the intel game from both sides. Whoever plays it better will have a slight edge, because if you can find all 3 Valkyrie cameras and nullify them, that means the Valkyrie pick is basically just a roaming gun at that point. And that's exactly how you want to play these strategical sides of attacker repick versus defender picks in these rounds.
A single bad round of Valkyrie brings out an IQ. You love to see it.
Yeah, that's how it goes, yeah.
Yeah, it's...
It just goes to show how hard Valkyrie can be to play against, really.
Defender bans right now are mostly kept between 3 separate operators. Azami, Solus, both of the 2 are banned right now, and Valkyrie being the other. You can't ban all three. If Ubisoft, if you're listening, please increase the number of bans. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Oh, I actually have a lot of good ideas about how to do it. I've been theory crafting it up.
I don't think
What?
Oh! Why is Bibu getting read like a book round after round? He goes downstairs on a roam. It's picked apart by Joystick. Bibu's 5 deaths are almost all exclusively in the hands of Joystick at this point.
Yeah, and I mean, Joystick on the entry duels right now, very successful, of course. He plays the role of Nuke, which, I mean, your entire job is to get the opening kill, if not the opening death. You find yourself in the wrong position at the wrong time. We saw this exact grenade downstairs last time, not really hitting his mark or finding much success, and the thing is, this time it takes the shield, but Shinka reads that perfectly, moves away from that location, he stays alive. Last time, Wolves losing Astro control was the downfall of the bomb site itself. Shinka still has 2 toxic babes, can try and hold on for a bit longer, but with the walls being opened up to the bomb site, that's gonna be hard.
There's Dan to pick off Mowgli. Wolves, after an impressive round to get themselves on the board, are finding themselves in trouble. Still a minute to go to bail themselves out of this position. Spread out well across the map, but the trouble now is losing the protection of your bomb sites. Our destruction going to work as Shepard opens up both ways in to C and ways to get in as well. Toxic canister thrown out in response. Shinka has none of those left. Oh, and bad timing! Joystick lines up 2 of them. They fall like dominoes. P4 in a 1v5. Virtus.pro, very clearly unhappy about the previous round. They'll win their 4th round, and they'll do so flawlessly.
Beautiful timing from Joystick, but again, the information game from Virtus.pro, they might look a little bit slow sometimes on their initial entries in the first or beginning of the round and mid-round, but the reasoning for that is setting up all the pieces, the supportive drone work from Shepard, for example. I mean, Joystick has so much intel. He knows where to nade. He knows the flank is coming. They even know the last person of P4, exactly which corner he was standing in a 1 versus 5. VP are not cutting any corners. They're playing a simulation game. They are going through the same scenario every single time, and they have all these checklist boxes that they're just checking through. Do we have this drone? No. Okay, then we gotta get it. And if they don't have it, that's where their experience comes to play, where they can adapt to the problem. So far, Wolves not been able to crack this, and seeing 4-1 side on Villa attack is not something that we see very commonly. Of course, this is the final round in the first half. If the sideswap comes through and we see Wolves do the same thing on their attack, we can deem this an attacker side of Villa, whatever. But I will say, VP, very impressive so far.
Attackers are moving to defuse a bomb.
Also, all 4 bomb sites.
I was gonna try to make a pun off the fact you said very impressive, but VP doesn't stand for that.
It's
Very impressive.
Very impressive.
It is a very impressive match so far for VP.
Yeah, sure is one of those.
You said it right as we started riffing on about the acronym, and that this is a living room library defense by Jove.
I like this for the simple fact that nothing else has been working for Wolves. You gotta try and change it up. But again, Virtus.pro, when they see this tertiary or the 4th bomb site, they start picking up these quote-unquote funky operators, right? Now we see the OSA and we see the Gridlock. Those 2 are tailored specifically for this living library attack. Like I said for Shepard and his drone work, he has quite literally droned half the map downstairs, the entirety of the bomb site, and his lips are moving. He's saying, guys, there's no one here. If you open up the soft wall, rotate past you over, this looks very plantable. And I have to agree, looking at it right now, VP in a great position to start things off greatly in this round. Of course, Deadshot has 2 impact grenades, Mowgli and Bibu has C4 each, but that Osa shield is going to be so far away from those members if they just approach it from that kitchen side of the map.
One underrated aspect about this lineup from Virtus.pro is the amount of caliber-based destruction. That's true. So you've got the super shorty in the hands of the Gridlock. We just saw it opening up a wall. You've also got DMRs, which not so long ago, but not recently, were buffed to do even more damage to hatches and walls, which allows them to open things up much better. So Virtus.pro doesn't even necessarily need soft destruction, but look at this. Pasha's getting the diffuser down, but unfortunately breathes in a little bit too much gas, and not the good kind. Down they go. It's a 4v4. And now it's Dan's turn to take some damage, but always is there. Say goodbye to P4, and now Mowgli falls as well. all of this action happening spread out across the map. Bibu and Shinka in a 2v4. Still a minute to go. Shinka's retaken from above. In fact, I don't even think Wolves have ever conceded this part of the map. They don't cede the ground one bit. At that range, though, the SMG-11's not going to do a lot of damage. It does like a point to joystick, and that's about it. They see another smoke go down, so Wolves think maybe diffuser's going down in it. So Warden pulls out the smart glasses. The joystick currently hangs onto that diffuser, sitting on 10 kills.
Yeah.
He's not moving a muscle.
Had a great time so far. Now the plan goes down and people he doesn't know where. That waiting game has paid off so far.
He'll open up a line of sight with that nitro cell as Shinka's now fallen down to the bathroom, but he's trapped. The only way out is if he shoots through the wall, which is exactly what he's gonna do. But there go those track stingers. Nice picking away at what little remained of joystick. The gas should finish him off, and there we go. Numbers narrowing. Wolves will start to run at a time. There's a lot of eyes from Virtus.pro still watching the site. And down goes Shinka. What a dominant first half.
Yeah.
VP 5-1. And they did it with getting the diffuser planted 4 of the 5 rounds they won. That is phenomenal. Trophy was over too quickly for them to get the diffuser planted. They won that one flawlessly.
Yeah.
This has not been a particularly close match.
No, it hasn't, and that is a big surprise because I really thought Wolves kind of knowing how VP was going to approach this game would give them an easier time. But with that being said, Virtus.pro also surprisingly, they are playing a variety of operators. They're playing the Glass, playing the Ying, they're playing the O's, they're playing the Gridlock. They are actually willing to try out these different kinds of strats to pick apart the specific bomb sites that might need a little bit of love, where you can't just walk in for a deep attack like EVG and like Trophy. Now the big question marks, of course, now is going to be on the side swap rather. When the first half is done, now VP will be on the defensive side. How will they set up the defense differently than Wolves did? Or at the very least, how will they set up in a way to combat Wolves? Because Wolves' attack yesterday against the Medi, if you watch the VOD VP, which they definitely did, it was very quick, up the red stairs, straight into the bomb site, taking gunfights. But VP, they play a very tight-knit style of siege, not like that of M80, which is Wolves' previous opponent. And that's also why, I guess, that the operator lineup for Wolves is very different this time. They got IQ, they got Flores, they got Monty. They are playing it once again into that utility game, information denied because the Valkyrie's on the board, and it's probably going to be a less lethal Wolves in this matchup due to how different the playstyle is for Virtus.pro.
You've already used the timeout as well if you're Wolves, so what are your recourses at this particular moment? You just kind of have to cross your fingers and hope that this is an absurdly defender-sided Villa and that you can ride that same wave. Operator bans don't really lead me to believe that it should be attacker favored.
No, I wouldn't say so either. And I mean, you said, what do you rely upon, right? I think you rely upon...
I got things wrong. I'm an attacker.
You said attacker favorite, yeah. Someone like Bibu. Like, Bibu has so much experience. He's a great captain leader for this team. So he, of course, can keep you in it, hopefully mentally and strategically. But individually speaking, Bibu, 1 and 6. Deadshot, still 0 and 5. And Mowgli, to his standards, going 4 and 5 is very quiet for him as well. So individually speaking, they've just been shut down time and time again, at least on the defensive side of things. That has to change now for Wolves' attack. Otherwise, this might be a very quick game going 7-1, 7-2.
The only kill Deadshot technically got was securing it down in one of the previous rounds. So, I mean, that's a very poor performance. And when you've got 2 players combining for a single kill at this level, for at least a best of 1, I mean, maybe in one map in a best of 3, that is possible for you to still win the series. But having 2 players go 1 and a combined 11, that's not going to be good enough at all. You have 1 shot here, 1 opportunity.
Oh, it's not pretty.
Bibu.
Oh,
pushed right into it. Pasha gets the kill.
Yeah.
Man, oh man.
That's just, I mean, it almost like people gave up, like quite literally, right? I mean, he doesn't check the corner for the Goyo canister, doesn't respect that utility piece, and no one is there to really help him either. He dies for nothing. 90 wall summit gets shot as well, a kite tricked. There literally is no way for Wolves into this map besides walking up a staircase and finding like 4 kills back to back. People will try.
He certainly hears it, but he can't get the follow-up. He's a little bit too slow, enough to take out Always. Shinka technically credited with that kill. Numbers getting tighter with 30 seconds left, and that fire in front of P4 to the bomb site. This is going to be tough. TCSG slams into Deadshot, and he's on the ground bleeding out. 0-6 looking very likely. P4 walks right in. This is just desperation. They knew they had to go. It's all left to Shinka, and Joystick will get the final kills of the round. Virtus.pro speed running us through this matchup. They're on match point, up 6-1.
Yeah, this does not look like a Wolves versus Virtus.pro match for my expectations whatsoever. And I have to say, Wolves in that round, their first attack, they look like they are mentally checked out of this entire series. Like, they just want this to be over with. I mean, it doesn't look like they are trying a whole lot. Of course they are. I mean, they're at the major. They want to go further. They want to win. But it looked like it was bare minimal effort in that round. People walks up alone, dies to a Goyo canister, no help. P4 walks up red stairs. They try and take these 1k gunfights, and then Joystick just swings the door and gets 3 kills back to back to back. I mean, he's on a 13-4 right now. Wolves, this could be their final round. I want to see some life from them. I haven't seen their player counts. I haven't seen a smile or a fist bump or any sort of hooray since that tactical timeout. I want to see them try and actively go for a play and not just kind of walk around the map expecting Joystick to fall from the sky and then for them to kill him. Because right now, they're waiting for something to happen, but then Joystick walks into them and kills them. So be the ones to initiate, be the ones to force the plays. That's Wolves, that is. The Amaru can do that, the Lion can do that. Of course, the guns that we know, Mowgli, Deadshot, said it so many times, they are phenomenal fraggers in Tier 1 play, but they have not showed up so far, and they have to. Bibu off the Monty, I think it's a great start.
You talked about kills and the way these are going and what Joystick is at. 13 kills right now. Wolves are combining for 14 kills. So Joystick has 1 fewer kills than the rest of the team. Something. I mean, hey, P4 walks right in, almost dies, manages to take out Dan in the process, Amaruing in to 90 window, okay.
That's good. Like, they are now, as I said, like, they are looking and making the play instead of waiting around. And sure, it's not pretty, and they almost lose 2 members, but they don't. Now they have the man advantage. They gotta fight against the Capcan traps, the frost mats. This could get ugly very quickly, but they're actually fighting in this round. A great combination of the drone work with the Lion scan, and then P4 get into that gunfight. That buys them the opening. Now, they gotta convert this opening kill lead into a round victory. So the mid round now, what's about to happen for the next mid, has to be cleanly played by Wolves. Virtus.pro, they have so many rounds to work with, they can take big risks and go for hero plays. It doesn't matter if they lose this round. They're up 6-1.
Nitro Cell goes out. Bibu's able to skirt around that while he's on rappel. Struggled to get in the building still, though. It's a kitchen defense. All the focus from Wolves has been clearing out the top floor, as we see with this bomb site. At some point, though, they'll need to attack the site head on, and they start by tearing a strip at a Joystick. Nade goes in for the follow-up from Mowgli. Joystick has made his way into pantry and watches the window that's now been newly opened. Apprehensive about getting droned out. The only protection is that mute jammer. Now the Selmas look to go. Mini EMP actually missing the Electric Claw.
Yep. The target EMP's radius not that big, so if you're not very accurate at knowing the kite claw is, you're not gonna get it.
Oh, it's Mowgli inside a laundry. 45 seconds. Selmas have to go elsewhere. They'll go on the laundry wall, opening up lines of sight that might be vaultable. Still will put you in a very precarious position. For Wolves, they don't want precarious. They need certainty at this point. A single round and they're out of this one. There's 2 kills from Virtus.pro. P4 gets yet another. Mowgli botches the nade. It goes down. Shepard happy to finish off the remainder of P4. Nice shot from Mowgli, but Shinka surrenders the diffuser. Mowgli will need to pull off a miracle at this point to keep Wolves in it. Virtus.pro have 10 seconds to wait. That's it. They've got Mowgli under watch. He's right in front of the traps. He has to peel off. Always looking to seal the deal, but the clock might be the one to do it. And it is! Virtus.pro, Wolf Tamers, 7-1 as they topple their EUL cohorts. VP with a big victory.
Welcome back into the Copenhagen Major. Now, I'm going to explain to everybody at home the Virtus.pro paradox. Now, if we can just very quickly pause this clip, I'm going to explain that basically teams, they like to set up to play for time. When you look at teams going up against, when you look at teams going up against Virtus.pro, they like to play for time as their biggest factor, basically. 33 seconds on the clock. Nothing has happened. Nothing is going to happen for the next 10, 15 seconds. Now, Wolves came in with a very clear game plan. They wanted to ban as much time, not force any engagements whatsoever against Virtus.pro. And that's why we see in 2 minutes, 30 seconds, they've conceded some ground. We can see here, they've conceded all the way up to 90. They've conceded zombie. They're basically not playing anything. They're not even playing very aggressive on main stairs all the way down here. If we can just roll the clip for another couple of seconds, you'll see that Joystick manages to find a lurking. But again, the advantage here, if we can pause it just now, is in the favor of the defenders because there's such little time left. There's 5v5, the diffuser's got to go down. Now, I want to talk about the Virtus.pro paradox because this is how you play against Virtus.pro. You want to delay the time, and that's your key win condition. And when it doesn't go right, like it doesn't go right in this clip, the one thing that you will see is that in the rounds after that, Wolves just abandoned that. They went roaming, they went trying to look for gunfights, and they got slapped. So you're going to see Joystick has made a lurk into default. And this is why you can't let Virtus.pro get set up, because as soon as they set up, as soon as they get the trigger, what you'll notice is one player goes over to 90. As soon as Joystick finds this first kill, one player plants. One player goes into study, and then they push through towards the main stair. So if we can quickly roll the clip again, that would be great to see. Joystick finds this kill onto P4 right in just a second there. Note the time, 20 seconds, 19 seconds. I feel like I'm all the way back in the 20-second meta. As soon as that happens, if we can just pause it there. As soon as that happens, plant goes down. Long control established. Pasha's gone in below to try and help his team and push through. If we can play the clip again, the round's basically going down. Virtus.pro have just got themselves set up. They know exactly what the win conditions of every single thing on the Aviator games that they need. They need 90, they need long, they need zombie, they need the plant, and they've won the round. It's all down to Bibu. Now, when you're Wolves trying to play against that, when your win condition fails so drastically in the very first round, that's where it becomes a big risk for you, and that's why we saw their defensive rounds start compounding. Now, I'm going to throw it over to an interview with Veracity and Joystick.
Well, Joystick, you've done it once again with that incredible play style. Slow and steady wins the race for yourself and for your team. You managed to put an end to a little bit of a win streak on the side of Wolves. They had an 8-1 win record on the.
I didn't know that yet. So.
There we go. You've managed to do it. What were you expecting from them heading into this game?
Actually, we are playing versus them a lot online because we are in the same region. We know their playstyle, we know how they're playing, so it wasn't a surprise for us to play versus them Villa. We watch a lot of WODs of their plays and we'll play a lot of scrims. So I guess we just know what they will do, and they know what we are doing, but something was on our side today.
Well, you managed to get many of the diffusers planted as well. Were there any particular weaknesses you kind of picked up on the side of Wolves for their defense?
I don't think so, because before we are not planting so much. So after the bootcamp, we are sitting together and understand that we need to do it more, because you have a lot of opportunities to win the post-plant situation. Actually, you can win like 2v4 or 2v5. If you have like two teammates above the site, above the plant, it will be so easy to take it. So we just understand that we need to focus on planting more, and it works.
Well, you're now 2-0 in the Swiss stage as well. Now, my question for you is, are there any teams, if any, who do you think is going to struggle to face yourself and your team in the next
Actually, we never scary of any team. I don't care versus which team we will play, so we don't care. We just want to play a good games, and that's all.
Which team do you think would struggle against you guys,
against
though?
us?
Or any region?
I think no one here struggle because it's like LAN. It's a lot of really experienced teams right here, and of course, when you're 2-0, you will play versus a team that have 2-0, so they're experienced as well. And I think there's no struggle at all on LAN. So I think no one.
Can you guys keep up the momentum when it comes to, later stages of the tournament as well? Are you feeling confident it's not just a best of one show?
Yeah, we are really confident right now. We are like feel LAN vibe, and like fist bumps, and yeah, we feel it.
Well, the team synergy looks absolutely incredible. So thank you so much for joining me, and best of luck.
Thank you again.
Boyos, the VP paradox. How about that, Fresh?
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you get slapped by it in round one, you don't know how to play because we've got this whole game plan and we should be able to execute it versus them. But you let them get set up and then you can't. And then your head's gone and you spawn peeking and you forcing early engagements and you people alone in the basement and they get the kill and you can never play from behind against these guys. You let them get set up and they're so good.
I think that's something that Wolves maybe forgot today is that they're playing up against VP, which they've done a few times, but they're playing up against VP on LAN. It has been a while since we have seen that. It has been a while since we've seen this core at a LAN event, and it is great to see because those players have just fallen right back into where they left off.
I mean, last time we saw these guys, it was in Sweden at SI final, right? Realistically on LAN, yeah. So, not too far away, a couple of hours away on the train, I'm sure. What was impressive for me as well, Virtus.pro. 4 plants in 6 attacks.
Could have been 5.
Could have been 5. Had they not been so dominant. You let them get set up, they will execute a plant, they will win. It's as simple as that. And I really don't know. And teams are like this. This isn't just me. Do you fight them? If you fight them, you've got to fight them early round with all 5 of your players, or do you play really slow against them? But then they can get set up and win. It's like we should be back in 2020 with the utility meta, but that meta's not very good anymore.
For context, this is a team that really blows Fresh's mind. He watches them a lot. He says that it frustrates him to watch them, but he absolutely loves it deep down. And I think that there's a lot of teams that find it a very frustrating team to play against because they just do things better. They don't try and innovate. They don't try and reinvent the wheel. You could dare to say that there was a smidge more flexibility on the team today. Yeah. We saw a lot of gridlock. We saw a lot of ability to get that plant down. There was numerous things that were being used, whether it be smokes, whether it be the gridlock. There was so much going on there. They did stray a little bit outside of that comfort zone that we usually find them in, but they're still VP. They're still going to do the same thing over and over again because they've seen it 1,000 times.
And I think the one thing that makes them even better, which is something I have criticised them on in the past, they've increased their map pool as well.
Yes.
They're operating with a nice big map pool as well, which, especially once you hit best of 3s and best of 5s.
You could see it.
Yeah.
Joystick was confident. When he sat here in the interview, you could see that he was like, because I'm thinking, best of 3s, could be a little bit ropey. No, they're confident, they're ready to go.
Well, Liquid versus W7M is going to be coming on up. How are we feeling about that one real quick?
Big fan, to be honest. Glad I'm not working it so I can enjoy it as a fan. It's a LATAM derby. Always love to see Liquid play. Always love to see W7M play. I think they're 2 of the most exciting teams that we've got in this. I want it to go all the way.
So basically, to sum up today, we've got Jesse shilling for NA. We've got you shilling for LATAM. How about you, Fresh?
I'm just mauling about this paradox. I'll shill for EU, but we've not done too well today, even in EU versus
we
EU
beat
games.
EU.
We beat EU, yeah, true.
All right, well, we'll be back with our next matchup after this break.
Welcome to Hit for 6. Today, we have Wolves Esports versus the Sonics. Well, the Sonics have won the coin toss. They get the privilege, the honor of picking the first number. Gunner.
I want 6.
You want 6?